Bonjour tout le monde, bienvenue au podcast de la chaise bleue, le podcast qui s'adresse aux leaders de la transformation. Nous sommes présentement live from the Hannover Messe en Allemagne, le plus gros trade show manufacturier au monde. Et le podcast vous est présenté par le programme SIPEM de PROMPT. Et I have the pleasure to get with me Jayson from NGen and my colleague Benoit from La Chaise Bleue. How are you guys?
Good, and you, Nick?
Very, very good.
Excellent. C'est vraiment un plaisir d'être ici avec...
Pour votre information, le podcast va être en anglais, mais on va mettre des sous-titres en français durant le podcast. Nice to meet you, Jayson.
Yeah, great to be here too. And welcome to Hanover.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Hey, can you introduce yourself to our communities? What are you doing here, and what is NGen?
So I know that's what I'm asking myself what I'm doing here usually. My name's Jay Myers. I'm the CEO of Next Generation Manufacturing Canada. So we're a not-for-profit organization. But I like to say that's just our tax status. We're actually in business to make money here. But what we do is try to build world-leading advanced manufacturing capabilities across Canada. And Hanover is such a great place for Canadian companies to showcase their technology, their capabilities, really to an international business audience. So we're actually organizing all of the industry presence in Hanover this year. We have about 82 different exhibitors, including
That's a lot of people, 82. Congratulations.
We had 16,000 maple cream cookies that were supposed to come.
Where are they?
Well, I don't know because they're lost somewhere in customs, I think. But everything from maple cream cookies to organizing the huge pavilions we have and 4 halls. And then next year is going to be even bigger. So that's the year that Canada is going to be the partner country here at Hanover. And again, NGen is really the organizing force behind this. So we're looking for companies across Quebec, across Canada.
Coast to coast. Your organization is really from British Columbia up to the East provinces.
And it's, although we're kind of, our headquarters is in Hamilton in Ontario.
Yep.
We have a really good team in Montreal, and not only Montreal, in Sherbrooke and Laval, South Shore, and everywhere else there too. So we really take our role seriously to build not only the tech capabilities, but what we're trying to do is to integrate technologies into
the adoption
new
of technology as well, training and the different programs.
Yeah, like technology is just a tool, and it's how you put it together. But what really makes it work is the people and the capabilities there.
And it has to support a business model. You know, I used to say to all my customers, technology doesn't create value within your business. What it creates is velocity. You need to have the proper business model. You need to have the proper people, business process, and then the technology will come there to support that and make it faster.
You can always have a bad product that no one would buy and a bad process, and technology just makes it faster.
Yeah, exactly. So you accelerate the chaos.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But the other thing is that I think this is some of the problems that or the challenges that we run into in Canada, that people don't know what the capabilities are. Like, we have great manufacturers that are looking for technology, or they're not looking for a technology, they're looking for a solution to a problem that they've got. And sometimes they have to talk to solution providers to really understand what that problem is. And then you've got tech companies that may have parts of the problem. And I always say sometimes it's like, okay, I'm a manufacturer, I'm a customer, and I know I have a challenge, so I want to go from A to B, and I think I need a car. So the tech company will come to me with a pair of tires and then expect me to put that car together.
And a turbo.
And so then it's how all of those different parts are
how
put
to
together.
puzzle it together.
Yeah, either that, or you got a big vendor and say, well, I have exactly what you need. A $350,000 car, only to find out you really needed a scooter. And so a lot of it is to just bring people together to talk about the challenges, the solutions. And the other thing is, everybody thinks they're so unique. You've got every business is unique, and every product is
cutting
unique,
edge in something.
Oh yeah, everybody's unique, and every town and every region in Canada, and like Canadians are all unique. And then you realize we're really unique in extremely similar ways. You know,
Sure.
You can be here and yesterday at the opening ceremony, and the Chancellor of Germany and the Prime Minister of Norway and the head of the European Commission were here, and they're all talking about, what are the challenges with European industry. Well, it's digitization and it's skills and finding people and sustainability. And
Looks like Canada.
It's exactly the same as Canada. So we're good partners here.
So we have the talent, we have the energy, we have the good land to what is matériaux précieux?
The
precious material.
Precious material. We have everything to be better on the future. That's right.
Exactly. We just have to put it all together. And imagine what we could do if we actually were able to put all of this together.
Yeah, it's where 1 + 1 can equal 3 when you do that good.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right.
I have a question. Before you work with the NGen, what we did before?
So I was the head of manufacturier et exportateur du Canada, et aussi de Québec there. And then, I was the head of CME for about 9 years. So I got to know industry really well. And then all of us, 9 years is a long time. So I decided, well, maybe instead of telling government what government should do, I could do something myself. So that's how we founded.
Decided to get involved into the sector with the businesses directly.
Exactly. So we're the organizer of Canada's advanced manufacturing cluster, global innovation cluster for advanced manufacturing.
Are you the founder of NGen?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And we've gone through. Like I've experienced all the problems of a startup, it literally, working with no money, trying to raise money, trying to get partners on board, and then in 2 years we were up and running. Last year we finished off 165 projects that we invested in, and this isn't counting all of the education and the training programs and everything else we can talk about a little bit later. But we finished 165 projects. They had 372 industry partners across Canada
that participate into these 165 projects.
Yeah, so they're all
with their knowledge product, with their
IP, sharing IP, bringing technology and manufacturing capabilities together. So 372 industry partners, and we only fund businesses, but we had 311 research partners too involved from CEGEP and
you got links with the university and so on.
And they're invited in by industry. Okay. So it's a bit of a different model, but the universities and colleges are pretty good in knowing where to go to get money. So they were there and partners too.
Are you guys kind of a bridge between the business idea and the university to get the proper technology?
Yeah.
And these are two different worlds from time to time, and they are hard to get together into a product that will come to market and create value.
Exactly.
So you bridge that.
This is what we're trying to bridge, and it's also a bridge between, we're really good across Canada in creating knowledge and IP and startups and technology. Then the issue is, how do you get it into the hands of the customer
without selling it to a big company from another country?
Absolutely.
And then they can bring the tech together, get the value, the money out of it.
So that's what we're trying to bridge. The manufacturing customer with the tech providers and the researchers who can come up with a new solution, and it's usually just putting the right blocks together, the right technologies.
It's a truly noble cause to make sure that company can grow, raise their money here in Canada instead of going somewhere else.
Yeah, no, exactly. But it works. And
Great.
As of last December, we'd invested $215 million into these projects, or these technology leadership projects, and the latest sales numbers are $7.2 billion. So we've generated over 32 times the amount in terms of sales than what we've invested in. And a lot of our money comes from government. So we tell them, the federal government, for every dollar you've given us to invest on your behalf, we've given you 5 times the amount of tax revenue back.
Wow.
So reduce your taxes. No, we don't get to that point, but
Yeah,
but it's a
absolutely.
really good investment. It's a really good investment. And then where we're going in the future, like if we can deliver those results, well, I think we're a pretty good mechanism for other private sector funds
Sure.
too.
And you're
as
going
well.
to my next question, Jay. So, what's the evolution of next generation? What's the next big thing to come? What's your vision for the organization
Because
in the years to come?
Since 1 year later, we don't know nothing about NGen.
Yeah.
And since 5 last month,
Yeah.
we follow NGen. We manage new partner with a new business to grow our business too, to work with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
So
you're
we're
a great.
curious to see
you're a
what's
great
the
partner with
future you're
NGen.
envisioning.
Yeah, well, a couple of things here. I've been talking about our technology leadership projects, and we've got some new funding streams that we're going to be bringing on board. We've just launched a call for proposals for sustainable manufacturing. So not only to reduce emissions, but for circular manufacturing materials. So a company like Carbacrete in Montreal, for example, they manufacture negative carbon concrete because they take the slag and inject carbon into that and come up with a better building product than concrete.
Instead of it going in the air and polluting our
Exactly,
planet for next
exactly.
generation and so on.
So it looks after the waste from the iron or from the steel mills. It sequesters and takes carbon out of the air.
Okay.
There, so it's a really good example of what we could do in Canada around
How
sustainable
can we
materials.
make your waste my raw material
Yeah,
for next
yeah.
production?
From
It's
waste
really
to
the way to
profit.
go.
Waste to profit.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a really important part of where we're going. Also, support for electric vehicle value chain and the electric battery value chain is another area. And we've got a couple of other new funding streams. One is, which is kind of neat. It's we're looking for projects, or have invested in some projects, to develop new technologies to mine on the moon, to repurpose them back to Earth for mining or manufacturing. So
Nothing less.
miniaturized robots or energy systems, and of course it all has to be automated and AI and
Absolutely.
all of that stuff. So as you know, NGen is one of the leading the global innovation cluster for advanced manufacturing. But now that we have these projects with the Canadian Space Agency, we're calling ourselves a galactic innovation cluster. So we're very modest.
That's neat. That's
at NGen.
really neat.
And then we just the government has just announced a new fund for accelerated home building.
Okay.
So we've got a housing crisis across Canada.
Absolutely. We can see that.
Yeah. So, but a couple of things, like we have to build apparently 3.5 million new homes in Canada.
3.5 million. Wow. How much are we in Canada? Around 60 million?
Well, right now it's about 18 million.
89.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we've got a lot to go, but unfortunately in Canada we're building homes at the same rate that we were in the 1970s.
Okay.
And so in order to meet that target, we've got to triple the rate of home building.
Wow.
But then keep in mind
we don't have the triple of workers.
No, this is right. So you're absolutely right. And not only that, but construction workers are retiring faster than they're coming in.
Absolutely.
So we have to increase.
And they want to keep their home.
And they want to keep their home. So we have to increase productivity by 60%. On top of that, think of what would happen if we actually did triple home building. This is all about affordability. We wouldn't be able to afford the materials, because the cost would go through the roof. So we have to reduce the unit cost of a home by 2/3. Then,
By 2/3, that's a lot.
and then because housing construction is a big emitter of greenhouse gases, we have to reduce emissions per home by 30%. So how do we do that?
We gotta do better than the LEED project we saw 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, exactly. We better come up with some good ways to do this. But the answer is to make it an advanced manufacturing process. So think of the way we build homes right now. Every home is a customized build.
Sure.
And a contractor comes in, he brings the trades in, and the trades have to do for every home. They have to do their own measurements. They've got to install. It's all customized. But if you make that an advanced manufacturing process, and introduce AI and automation, and it's a prefab process, but it doesn't have to be standard, because with AI you can come up with any design you want for a home, and then just feed it into the automation system, and then use sustainable materials like the negative carbon concrete or magnesium drywall, and all of these heat absorbing paint and all of these other projects.
The insulation materials as well can be recycled.
Yes, absolutely. So that's what we're after, and we just was just announced in the federal budget that we'll have $50 million, and we're looking for partners to invest with us in this. But I think that's a kind of a no-brainer for NGen. So let's
totally makes sense. It totally makes sense.
Let's make home building advanced manufacturing.
Meeting all of these companies, what is the biggest paradigm that the manufacturer should do a paradigm shift? What's the biggest block that they still have, for the technology adoption, for the adoption of their business model? Yeah. Is there anything you see from time to time that it doesn't make sense anymore and people should work on?
Yeah, the biggest challenge I see are manufacturers who think they need technology and they just go out and buy technology for the sake of buying technology. They're without actually thinking of it as a tool. But in order to do that, you really need to have good manufacturing processes in place. And it just comes down to really basic manufacturing management here. So do you really understand what your customer values in terms of what you do as a business? What's your core competencies? What can you do better than anybody else? And that's where it all starts. And then you think about, well, okay, what are the main processes the critical processes I need in order to carry that out?
Sure.
And then you back up and say, okay, well, how can I improve the process there? And then you think about, okay, what are various solutions to doing that? And then you think about, even before you get into the technology, what sort of business requirements do I have? How much am I going to invest? What are my skill sets? How much training? Because a lot of the cost is done after the investment, so you need to maintain that investment. Then you think about the technology and
at the very end.
At the very end, yeah.
It is. We do have the same mantra, and it feels like you can operate a blue chair, a chaise bleue at any of your customer, and it would be the same. It starts from the strategic plan, business model, customer value you want to create, and at the very, very end, you purchase. Because for me, buying a hammer will not make me a good carpenter.
Yeah,
I could be a destructor of things.
That's right. But if you're a hammer salesman, like that hammer will do anything.
Absolutely.
Right, oh, that sounds good.
It's a cutting edge technology hammer, well balanced, everything.
Exactly. But you have so many people with great technologies, and I'll tell you a story. I was at a round table with about startups, and how do you grow a startup? And so the discussion was, and this was at one of the innovation centers, and apparently it takes money to do this. And then they talked about, well, you need innovation partners and more money, and you need mentors and more money. And, they went on for about 45 minutes. Nobody mentioned the word customer once.
Oh my God!
Give me a customer, and maybe that
that's
money
the first
comes
thing.
A lot easier. But in order to do that, you got to go out and see how your technology can be a solution for someone else. You have to understand what customers want, and you have to understand how they operate and how you could improve that. So I think one of the biggest problems with manufacturing sometimes as well, and I'm talking about tech, but manufacturers are just as bad. They think the business is getting product out the door, but it's not. Your business as a manufacturer is providing a solution for your customers. And today with technology, that solution can be a smart product, but can also be the service around products. Like take G for example in Bromont, the jet engines. Well, they don't sell the engines; they maintain the engines. This is
absolutely
they lease the engines. That's the new business model. And so many. There's another company in Ontario, and they produce the most basic product that you could think of. They produce shims. but they're smart shims.
Shims.
Shim,
like
so in order, a piece of wood
Like a
to
tool?
shim something?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but they're smart. So they've got sensors in them, and they don't sell the shims. They sell the
Information
coming from the shims there. So you got to think about
pressure, the angle, whatever it is.
Exactly. So I think that's a part of and I'm of course talking about how technology can help here as well. But I think it's the case for everybody. The competition is so fierce today that if you're just selling a product, basically it's going to be really tough because you're going to be face to face with everybody else that has the same product. So you have to
No differentiator.
no differentiator. So you have to figure out what differentiates you, and it's usually the service around what you're able
And
to
the value your product is truly creating.
Yeah, and even if it is a product, that's not what it sells.
It could be a service.
It could be a service.
The servicification of your product is an important thing.
Yeah, yeah. And it's everybody talks about the features of the product or the features of the technology, but put yourself in the shoes of the customer and think about, well, how would they use it? What's the value?
Sure. Yeah, this is another paradigm shift, I guess, because the first time I've met Benoit, he was doing a conference between like 200-300 person, and he came out with that quote because he liked quoting people, and he had something from Henry Ford,
Yeah.
and it was saying, if I would have asked people what they wanted, they would have told me faster horse.
Yeah,
And it's usually
exactly.
a trap.
Exactly.
Because, digital transformation, it says it's not the replication of your current business model, just digitalize. It's the transformation of your business model. You have to rethink about it.
Yeah.
And the way you were talking, even the pricing of my technology could be based on the value we truly create in the business process of my customer. Not only my costing plus 10%, so I do my margin. You have to rethink the way you sell it and so on. So it goes really deep into this transformation.
That's absolutely right. And like as a business person, you're the entrepreneur. You're the one who should be telling the customer, well, sure, that's okay, but I've got a better solution for you. But you have to know that the real problem your customer is facing is to go from A to B there. So you don't necessarily need a horse. You could do it by scooter.
Absolutely.
For example.
We do have a question from la Caisse technologique des Jardins. Which is
Quebec.
Quebec.
Partenaire.
But I'm sure you do know Desjardins, absolutely. So it's their tech bank, let's say. And the question is, and it's the first day in the trade show, so maybe you don't have the exact answer. You'll be welcome to join us back at the end of the show. That'll be great to do a debrief with you at the very end if you want, Jay. So what would be the one technology you'd like NGen to use to create better value for your end customer? Is there anything you'd like to integrate in your business model at NGen itself to provide better value?
Yes, and this is what we're doing already. So we're using a generative AI tool to make it really easy for people to identify organizations, companies across Canada with particular advanced manufacturing capabilities.
Okay.
So this is something that we're actually demonstrating here. But what we have is basically the interface, and it asks you like, what are you looking for?
Okay.
And you can type in exactly, the more specific, the better. You can type in, sort of, I don't know.
Any kind of service you're looking for, what kind of needs you have, and so we should discuss about that off the air, Jay, because we had one similar project in Quebec province, but we could join forces. But there was one really neat project that was done in the center of Quebec. Between how many companies they were working?
5,040.
5,040.
That's great.
And out of these 5,040, there was a sector, it's called the Créneau Accord, Benoit?
Créneau Accord.
Créneau Accord.
And what conception and builder machine custom, like 170 business in middle of Quebec, like Trois-Rivières. Do you know Trois-Rivières? Yeah.
So what they did is kind of a survey for 100 and something company, and they were saying what can you offer and what are your needs, in terms of human resources, availability time for machinery, raw material, and so on. And they saw what people have, what were their needs, and they were able to do like 100 and I don't know how many matches they have done, but people are getting in the era of social manufacturing.
Yes.
Sharing warehouse instead of a big cluster. So people are, starting to talk about that, but they did that experience and they saw there was a very, very big value for these customers to join forces in their journey.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. And a part of it, though, is just knowing, I mean, if you're local, you probably do know what everybody's doing, maybe, but you don't
maybe
know.
That's the thing. Maybe sometimes they don't even speak with each other about their true needs.
I know. On our board of directors, I had the chair of North America's biggest car seat manufacturer, and president of a company that does smart textiles, and they'd never met each other before. They started talking at a board meeting, and all of a sudden came up with all these great ideas to use.
And they were across the street or something like that?
Yeah, they were across the street from each other.
Yeah.
Across a parking lot. but they never knew each other.
But everybody's busy. We're all busy people and so on. But with social networks and stuff like that, you can help these relations and maintaining it and so on.
Well, just by making it really easy. Like this is the other thing that, for our business too, a lot of it depends on information. And we started out thinking we needed to develop like a membership database. And then we realized that, and I'm the worst here in filling out databases. If someone said, here, fill out a database, I never do it. But, what we realized is that we need to figure out how to get information about companies without necessarily having them input the information. So this is all on the website, so we scrape the web. And all we need to know is the company name, and we can get the URL and get all the information from the web.
With the apprentissage, we learn last 2 years, when you have to work only with the president or CEO of a business, you cannot do hybridation like your subject. When you use the engineer, the buyers, the director, and you put on the platform the capability and the what you need, that's you find a result, because the real guys need anything right now is not the CEO.
No.
He's long-term vision.
Every platform we see before is only the CEO was connected. He have no time to build a small capability. That's what we learned in the last 2 years.
Yeah, no, exactly.
We need to integrate the whole business into this platform. We'll discuss that further.
But it's so true. And there's a real disconnect sometimes between the CEO, CFO on one side, and then the tech groups on the other. And it works both ways. I mean, the engineers, the technical people, they know what the technical problems are, but they don't necessarily understand what the business objectives are too. Yeah. So it's again, how do you bring these two worlds together? And it's not easy, even within the same company.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, listen, thanks you guys. It's been a blast.
Thanks so much for your time. Have fun. Have a good trade show, and talk to you later, guys.
Yeah, thanks. We'll see you at dinner tonight.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.